Independence Day makes it a 3-day weekend, surely making it busy on the highways and interstates. Joining us for an update is Public Affairs Specialist for AAA Nebraska, Brian Ortner. Brian, just how many of us are hitting the road and taking advantage of this 3-day weekend?
There's kind of two answers to that question, the national numbers and our regional numbers that include Nebraska. The short version, both are setting records in 2025. Nationally, it's estimated that over 72 million Americans are going to be traveling 50 miles or more for the holiday, with 61 million of those folks taking to the roads. For Nebraska, and what we're part of is the West North Central region, it's estimated that over 5.1 million are taking advantage of the longer weekend, with over 4.3 million of those choosing their car to reach their destination.
And Brian, in what ways are we traveling this Independence Day weekend?
Well, travelers are definitely taking advantage of a variety of ways to get away for the holiday. As mentioned, the car is probably the most popular option both nationally and regionally. For those taking to the skies, numbers are up nationally as well, but closer to home, we're seeing a little bit of a decrease, about 0.6% decrease in airline travel. While a bit less than last year, it's still worth noting that airports are going to be busy this upcoming holiday weekend. And finally, AAA looks at an area called other options of travel, train, bus, or cruises. And national and regional numbers are up in this category as well. And for our region, which includes Nebraska, there's a 9.6% increase in folks choosing this option over last year. Part of that, the availability, price, and all-inclusive nature of cruises are just a couple factors that make this a popular choice for folks where you can just pack, go, and enjoy.
This 3-day Independence Day weekend, Brian, are there any travel destinations we're heading to more?
Domestic travel is really where the numbers are up this year, and it's a variety of destinations. For cruises and those all-inclusive opportunities, Florida, Alaska, and Seattle are popular because of the port destinations that they provide, because Alaskan and Caribbean cruises are both very, very popular this year. Outside of that, big cities remain the most popular, with examples including New York, Boston, Atlanta, and Denver as some of those destinations.
Talking right now with Brian Ortner of AAA Nebraska, getting an update on travel this Independence Day holiday weekend. Brian, it's time for that ever so important question. How are gas prices looking when we fill up this holiday weekend?
Gas prices for sure have been a focus over the last few weeks due to happenings internationally. After seeing a quick spike in prices with the U.S. involvement in the Middle East, prices have since adjusted. We've talked before that the main driver of prices at the pump is the cost of crude oil. And we look at the markets, a barrel of crude oil has been trading in the low to mid $60 per barrel range. That should be beneficial to customers. To put that in the pocketbooks of folks in comparison, the state average across Nebraska on Tuesday was $2.95 per gallon, nearly 34 cents lower than it was this time last year. Last year, we saw an average of $3.27 per gallon at the pumps when people were hitting the road. That lower cost isn't necessarily a driver for the numbers of travelers hitting the road this holiday, but it does provide some relief when fill-ups happen on the road trip.
When leaving and returning for Independence Day travel, Brian, what are the best and busiest times to be on the road?
Early risers are going to be the beneficiary. Getting on the road early should provide some benefit to seeing lower traffic numbers on our interstates and highways. But this would also be good advice as well for those who may be staying closer to home to expect potentially higher volumes during this upcoming holiday weekend. Early afternoon is when most are expected to be on the roads, as some holiday festivities happen later in the day. But regardless of when you hit the road, I want to remind folks, please be safe. Crashes hit different when they happen to you, and there are 4 easy things you can do to reduce the risk. Slow down, especially with increased traffic numbers. Buckle up, whether you're in the front or the back seat. Put the phone down, and finally, don't drive impaired. Make a plan to accommodate for any celebrations you have coming up that may include alcohol.
AAA likes to make tow-to-go an option on holiday weekends. Brian, is that the case this weekend, and how does it work?
Yes, it is. Tow-to-go will be active this holiday weekend. It will start on Friday, July 4th at 6 p.m., and will run through Monday, July 7th at 6 a.m. And it's an easy process. It's as simple as a phone call, 855-2-TOW-TO-GO or 855-286-9246. What this does, it means AAA will provide a free confidential ride for your vehicle and one person and tow them within 10 miles to a safe area. It's available to everyone, AAA members and non-members alike. The one item of note is this is not something you can schedule in advance. It is designed as a last-minute solution in situations where other plans may fall through. So having a safe ride plan is important, and it matters, because nearly one-third of all U.S. traffic deaths involve drunk drivers. If we look back at 2023, over 12,000 people lost their lives in alcohol-related crashes, and a life was lost in a drunk driving crash every 42 minutes. And since its launch 25 years ago, this program is so important as Tow to Go because it's removed nearly 30,000 impaired drivers from the road. So make a plan this holiday season and holiday weekend and be safe.
Thanks, Brian, and have yourself a great Independence Day weekend.
Thank you so much, Paul. You do the same.
That's Public Affairs Specialist Brian Ortner of AAA Nebraska, updating us on what to expect when we hit the road for this 3-day Independence Day weekend. For more on what AAA offers and planning your travel, just do a Google search for AAA. Once again, do a Google search for AAA. I'm Paul Perkins on the Rural Radio Network.